What's up, y'all? It's your girl Porsche 911, and today I'm going to teach you how to be a bartender with no experience. I'm getting you straight behind the bar. You don't have to be a server. You don't have to do none of that. I'm going to teach you how to get straight behind the bar. Let's go. Get your pen and your paper. Let's go. I want to start this by saying you're going to lie on your resume. If you're an ethical Annie, then don't use this. Exit on out of this video. Is if you don't want to work your way up and start as a host into a server and do all this other stuff, listen to what I'm saying. Number one, I want you to figure out what type of bartender that you want to be. There are so many different types. So there's a bev cart girl. There you can work in a restaurant, you can work in a strip club, you can work in a pub, you can work at your local dive bar. You got your casinos, you got your lounges, you got your sports bars, you got your nightclub bartenders, you got your hotel bartenders, you got your upscale restaurant bartenders. It's so many different options out here, but first I want you to figure out what appeals to you, what fits you exactly. For instance, if you know you like to stay up late, you could be a nightclub bartender because those are typically late hours. If you know you like to be in a bed by 8:30 p.m., 9 o'clock, maybe something working at like a breakfast spot may work out better for you. You just got to figure out what appeals to you in an hour. Even some restaurants, they typically close early, maybe like 9, 10, 11 at the latest. And those are some spots, not all. If you want something super fast paced and you're just meeting people from all walks of life, you may want to consider being an airport bartender. So once you figure out what fits you and what type of bartender that you want to be, I want you to go to that spot and I want you to check it out. You're going to do some note taking, do a little research on this place. I want you to go there and I want you to visit this place a couple different times of the week. I want you to get there early during the day. I want you to be there at night during the week. I want you to go there on the weekends and just make sure you want to see the traffic that's coming in there, because if nobody's coming in there, you're not going to make any money. You also want to see the type of crowd that this is. Do you generally want to work around younger adults, 21 and over, and they're just starting to drink? I don't know, not me. They tend to do a little over drinking, so you have to just be more vigilant on how you serve them. Or would you rather work around an older crowd? So it just depends. So that's why I want you to do that research. Now, once you found a place that you like, the next step, you're going to befriend the bartender. So what you're going to do is you're going to start some conversation with this bartender. And of course, you're going to tip well, okay? I'm sorry, but tipping well gets you better treatment. That's just the way of the world. Money is energy. If you want to be stingy with your money, ain't no money finna come into you. So you want it to flow. So spend that money. It's going to come back to you. That's the mindset that you got to have. Now, after you've been there a couple times and maybe you guys have built a rapport and y'all getting kind of cool, then maybe you can ask them, well, how much do you make on a good day? Are y'all hiring? You just never know, because they could be the connect to even get you that job. So you could be like, hey, are y'all hiring? And they'll be like, oh yeah. You want to talk to the manager? Boom, the manager can talk to you right then and there, and you just got to be ready. Like, working in the service industry, things happen really, really fast. You just got to stay on your toes and you got to be ready for anything. Bartending is about making connections, and all the time it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. So make those connections with people. Once you got that down pat, next we're going to talk about saucing up that resume, okay? Sprinkling a little sauce on that resume, baby. So first you're going to get a list of closed bars in your area that are no longer in business. You're going to do a little research on them, see when they close, see when they open, how long they've been open, all that type of stuff. And you want to do this because you're going to say that you work there, okay? For instance, Ponderosa. This closed a long time ago, but I'm just saying, if it just recently closed, then you could say you worked at Ponderosa. They don't call around. They typically don't call around unless they just like know them or something like that. But it just, they hire so fast, they don't have time to be calling around checking your references. So you could say you worked at a few closed bars, okay? You also want to add in that you worked for a mobile bartending service, and a mobile bartending service is, say if somebody has a wedding and they need a bartender, that's a mobile bartender. So you can have your own, or you can say that you worked at a friend's mobile bartending service. And then if you say you own it, who they gonna call? You, to see if you work there. So again, you can have your own mobile bar to add on your resume. So I feel like if you already make drinks at the kickbacks and you at your friend's house and you're the bartender there, that's bartending experience. That's mobile bartending experience. You got some. Boom. You a mobile bartender because you already got experience. You already be making the drinks for your friends and they like them. First of all, I wouldn't be telling y'all all of this if I didn't go through it myself. So this is coming from experience. Now, when you're making your resume, do not get too crazy with your years of experience. Don't put that you got 10 years of experience in bartending. That's now you're going too far, okay? You could put that, I would say 2 to 2.5 years would be good. If you went to a bartending school, I wouldn't even put that on my resume. Don't tell nobody that you went to bartending school. I don't have anything against it because I went to a bartending school. It just helps you learn about your liquors. I know some people, they don't even know that Tito's is a vodka. Some girl I know, she think Tito's is tequila. Okay, so it's just teaching you about things I didn't know. They teach you how to pour, your bartending tools and stuff, what a jigger is, and just stuff I had never heard of. And I'm glad that I did go. But some people, they like to stone you for going to bartending school. Like some bartenders hate it. I don't know why. They just hate it. So I would just kind of keep that to yourself if you did go to bartending school. Just don't tell nobody. Just keep it to yourself. But I don't see nothing wrong with it because it actually helped me. Now that you got your resume together, I'm going to teach you about how to find out the certifications that you need in your state. I'm in Illinois, so I'm going to use Illinois for an example. You can type in bartending license in Illinois, and what's going to pop up is the BASET. The BASET is basically a state-sponsored alcohol awareness training class. You need to pass this in order to be a bartender in Illinois. It's like $9 if you do it online. There are some spots that are free. I also dropped that free class that I took in Illinois as well. It's basically going to teach you how to check an ID, how to make sure that you are serving people that are 21 and over. It's going to teach you how to be aware of people that are intoxicated and how you cannot serve an intoxicated person, how you need to stop serving them, how you need to cut people off. It's going to teach you all those things. And all of that is very important because if you're working at a restaurant and someone comes in, they do send people to your bar sometimes, and they may have an underage person with them and maybe like 2 people, and they'll try to not trick you, but they'll see if you will serve that underage person, like if you don't check their ID, and then they will fine that restaurant. Fine. I don't know how much the fines are. They probably like $5,000, $10,000, but they will fine that restaurant. You don't want to be the reason for that. If you're near Chicago, there is a free one that I suggest you use. And if you type in BASET training, Oak Park Library, that's where they do it for free. I think they do some on Zoom, or you can actually still go into the Oak Park Library and you can take the class with them, and it's free. That's the one I use. So very good one. Y'all take the class together, y'all fill everything out, take the course, take the quiz, all that together. And then they send off your information into the state, and the state will mail you your BASET, so you don't have to do anything after that. And they also give you a temporary one to use as well. So if you want to see what bartending license you need in your state, I would suggest just doing a little Google search. Bartending license needed for insert your state. Boom. And it'll tell you from there. Now that you got your resume ready, you know what type of bartender you want to be. You got your place picked out. Now I'm going to teach you what drinks that you need to know to make sure that you are ready for your interview. In some of these interviews, they will ask you to make a drink. So that's why I suggest you be ready and you practice these drinks at home. So first things first, I need you to hop on YouTube University, and you already here. So you're going to need to learn your pours and your pour counts. I will be making a video about that later, so y'all could just come back to my channel and come back to that video. But for now, Google that in, how to learn your pour counts. And it'll be a lot of videos. Your pour counts is what you use to pour liquor in a free pour. So basically, y'all know those little pour spouts that they have on top of the liquor bottles. There's a certain count that you need for each measurement, and you'll be able to know that because you've been practicing. So some drinks that every bartender should know: a Long Island, a mojito, a Sex on the Beach, a Old Fashioned, a Manhattan, a margarita, a martini. There are a few more, but those are the basics. They may ask you in your interview, what's your favorite drink to make? Just have a drink ready in your head that you like to make, and then also how to make it. What helped me to memorize them all? I was very scared when I first started bartending. I'm like, how am I going to remember all of this stuff? Like, I have a shitty memory. How am I going to remember all of this stuff? But basically, y'all, it's repetition. So what helped me in the beginning is I wrote everything down on a flashcard. So you write the name of the drink at the top. You're going to write the measurements, the ingredients, what garnish goes with it, and you're just going to keep running through those flashcards, and then you will start to memorize them as you make the drink. Also, the area that you are in also has to do with the drinks that people are drinking. So I know a lot of people were in my comments on my TikTok, and they were asking me, because I make drinks on there, they were asking me to make a Tokyo tea. That's not popular in my area, so I had never made one. I did have to look that up. So again, it just depends on what area you're in. So I know in Chicago, big things, Long Island's, margaritas, lemon drops. We like ours with tequila. So it just depends. You need to know what y'all drinking in your area. So just know what a lot of people are ordering at the bars in your area. Know what type of liquors fall in the cognac category. Know what type of liquors fall under the vodka category. Know what type of liquors fall under the tequila category. Know what type of liquors fall under the rum categories, and so on and so forth. And these are good things to know, because some people say if they come to your bar and they order a margarita, usually the margarita is just made with well liquor, and the well liquor is just like the cheaper bottom liquor that they have. So they might be like, oh, I want to upgrade my margarita. What do you suggest? You could be like, oh, we have Patron, we have Don Julio, Añejo. Like, you will know. It helps you upsell, so that's more money for you, more tip for you, And it just tastes better. I'm not gonna lie. And I talk about all these things in my ebook. I go over what well liquor is, what top shelf liquor is. So make sure y'all got that ebook. It's my bartender pink print. Okay, it's just a quick guide on how to get into bartending with no experience. It goes through what each liquor is, the brands, the categories. It just gives you a lot of knowledge. It's a crash course into bartending, basically all the information that I'm giving you now plus more. Also, in my ebook, I do post the resume that I actually used to get me my first bartending job. So you'll have access to that as well in my ebook. So make sure y'all grab that. And it's just good to know your brands and what go in each drink, because some people, they don't even know what they drinking. Somebody might ask you what goes in an old fashioned. And if you say tequila, shaking my head, okay? So that's why we need to be aware and have the knowledge, have the liquor knowledge. Now that we got all that together and we ready for our interview, I'm going to give y'all some interview tips to tell you how to rock that interview and get you straight behind the bar. Get that money, okay? I get it. You may be a little nervous for this interview. You don't know what to say. One thing I will say, don't tell them you've been to bartending school. I already said that. Don't tell them. Keep that to yourself, okay? Don't tell nobody it's a secret. Keep it on your chest. So in this interview, you really want to focus on your skills. You want to focus on you having a really good personality. You want to focus on telling them how charismatic you are, how you're a people person, how you love to talk to people, how you love to meet new people, how you're a good multitasker, how you're good with working with other people, how you're good working by yourself, because there will be times that you will be by yourself. Another good one is how well that you work under pressure, because baby, you gonna feel it. Another thing is that you have high energy. You really just want to sell yourself in this interview. Always remember that recipes can be taught, personality cannot be taught. You don't want to be the bartender with a shitty attitude, okay? Because that's going to dwindle your tips down. You want to have a nice personality. You want people to feel comfortable talking to you. You want to meet new people. They're more than likely, if you're a good person, if they feel like that they're comfortable talking to you and you're a good person to talk to, they're probably just going to tip you a little bit more. That's just the way it is. Also, have some open availability. So when they ask you when you're available to work, you can't just be like, oh, I just want to work on Tuesday. So be open to some nights, weekends, so you'll be able to get in there. Most of the popping days be on a weekend. I'm not saying that some weekdays may not be good and may not make money, but the weekends is where it's at. So you may have to put some things on the back burner, some events and stuff like that, or just take off if you can, if you really need to get to a certain event. But the weekend, you definitely need to have that open. Don't be scared to bomb the first few interviews. You probably will never see this person again. And then this will also, all the things that you learned in that interview that you messed up on, you'll be able to apply that to the next interview. So, for instance, I did bomb a few before I landed the job, the first job that I ever had. And I had that I worked at a winery before on my resume. I had never worked at a winery. And the guy that was interviewing me, he asked me how many ounces go into tasting. And I don't know, I just wasn't ready for that question. I just made up something off the top of my head. He corrected me. So I think he knew that I was lying, but we just kept going on with the interview or whatever. But he knew I was lying. I was like, oh, yeah, I need to know that for my next interview if somebody else asks me that. And again, like I said, be ready to make a drink. Sometimes they may ask you to make a drink. Sometimes they may not. Some don't even ask you many questions at all. They're basically like, when are you available to start? You'd be like, tomorrow. They'd be like, okay, come back in. Some will ask you more extensive questions. They may ask you, do you know anything about this place? So also another thing to know is just probably just learn a little bit of background information about the place that you're interviewing at. I also, on the interview, I had somebody ask me, he was like, oh, can you work tonight? We had a bartender that called off. Are you available to work tonight? This was literally the same day. So like I said, you guys just have to be on your toes. You guys have to be ready. I wasn't feeling too well during this interview, so I said no, I wasn't available to work that day. But again, you may have a job like that. You just got to be ready. And lastly, I just want to say good luck to you all on this journey. It's fun, it's exciting, it's rewarding. I really love bartending. I think you guys will too. Also, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. I also, like I said, have my ebook. It's a quick crash course, the Bartender Pink Print. Kind of the information that I said today plus more. You guys are going to see my exact resume that I use. You guys have interview questions in there. And you can also book a one-on-one with me if you want to learn how to pour from me, learn your pour counts. If you just want to do a mock interview with me, those type of things. If you have any questions, things that you're going through at work that you may not want to ask the other bartenders because maybe you're embarrassed, I don't know. But you can book a one-on-one call with me. And I'm here for you guys. And let me know if you guys got any questions. Good luck to you and see you soon. Let me know what else y'all want to see from me.